To determine if grinding is feasible, make a thorough inspection of the valve. Check the valve stem in 3 places for excessive wear. It should not exceed 1/1000th of an inch or 0.025 millimeters. Inspect the tip for an even wear pattern and the keeper grooves for wear or damage. If the stem is bent or otherwise damaged, discard the valve. Check the valve face for burning, pitting, cracks, grooves, and scoring. If the valve shows any of these conditions, discard it. However, if it can survive your critical inspection and can be refaced with sufficient valve margin, it is ready for grinding to assure an accurate fit between the valve face and the valve seat. The correct face angle on most Ford valves is 44 degrees. Remember that the valve seats are ground to 45 degrees. That 1 degree difference is called the interference angle. This is a hairline contact between the valve and the top of the seat. When the valve operates, a perfect fit occurs between its face and the valve seat because of the engine's high combustion temperatures. Adjust the chuck assembly and line up the swivel plate with a 44 degree index line. Then lock the plate lock screw. Make sure the main switch is off. Then open the chuck and, holding the valve by the head, insert the stem into the chuck and close the chuck to the normal position. Check to make sure that the valve is positioned in the chuck so that the gripping members contact only the worn portion of the valve stem that operates in the valve guide. The valve stem should be gripped within 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch from the upper end of the worn stem area. The valve head will then be as close to the end of the chuck as possible. Now set the chuck valve stop. Push it forward from the rear until it is seated against the butt end of the valve stem. That operation permits you to insert like valves so that they're gripped on the same relative points on the stem. Complete instructions for readying the machine for valve grinding are contained in your shop manuals. Start the machine and bring the grinder carriage toward the valve. Adjust the coolant nozzle so that coolant is directed on top of the valve. Now bring the valve face in contact with the grinding wheel by adjusting the chuck feed hand wheel. Take light cuts, 1/1000th to 2/1000th of an inch, or 0.025 to 0.05 millimeters, and pass the wheel back and forth slowly past the valve face many times. Never take heavy or deep cuts. When the last low spot on the valve face has been removed and all dark spots disappear, stop feeding with the chuck feed hand wheel. Let the valve rotate against the stone for a few moments, then move the valve away from the stone. Remember, the valve seat must be the correct width and must contact the valve squarely near the center of the valve face. Here's how to check the valve for proper fit in the seat to assure a good seal. First, coat the valve face lightly with Prussian blue. Then set the valve in place. Apply pressure to the center of the valve and rotate it a 1/4 turn. Then rotate it back to its beginning position. The valve face will be free of Prussian blue at the contact line. The seat should be marked with blue around the entire circumference. If the contact line is too high, the seat must be ground with the 18 degree wheel to correct the condition.